Ross Tucker, CBS Westwood One color analyst, host of Ross Tucker Football Podcast. He was on the sidelines yesterday, the Eagles and the Niners. And by the way, joining us on behalf of DraftKings Sportsbooks same-game parlays. You can pocket more cash when you combine multiple bets from one game. Download the app, sign up with the code Patrick, get a special offer. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Ross joins us. What did you see on the Brock Purdy injury?
Well, I was surprised, Dan. I mean, I'm on the Niners sideline. I usually spend most of the time on the visiting sideline because there's less people over there and because that's how you get more TV time because all the cameras are where the press box is on the home. So I intentionally go on the away side to try to get as much TV time for my sister and my daughters as I can. But no, I mean, you can tell he got hit, right? Obviously, we all saw that. But when he was throwing on the sideline, he was throwing okay. I mean, he wasn't like really zipping it in there, but he was throwing okay. I thought I saw him, Dan, look at some people and say, kind of nod his head and say, yeah, I'm okay. And then the Niners come out for the next series and Josh Johnson goes out there. It's a TV timeout. And we're not on radio either. So I tweeted, Josh Johnson's in the game at quarterback. And I went over there. I was right behind Purdy. They were like rubbing some type of balm on his bicep and bicep tendon. They were doing something with the back of his elbow. I mean, they did everything they could to try to enable that kid to go back in the game and throw. But at halftime, when I was walking off the field with Kyle Shanahan and Aaron Andrews, Aaron said, what about Purdy in the second half? And Kyle said, I'm told it's a no. So he was not supposed to come back in the game, obviously, till Johnson got hurt. And then I think Kyle just thought he'd rather have a guy that can at least take the snaps from center and hand off than try to put Juszczyk or McCaffrey or somebody back there.
Yeah, trying to figure that out. I was surprised they just didn't stay with Debo or McCaffrey in the Wildcat. And, Purdy said I couldn't throw the ball 10 yards. Johnson gets the concussion there. The game plan for the Niners in the second half. What did you make of that?
Well, I thought it was sad. I mean, I'm on the Niners sideline. McCaffrey had one of the best touchdown runs I've ever seen. That was unbelievable. Debo Samuel's over there, Dan, asking to return punts and kickoffs, trying to get the Niners back in this. And they have so many good players, such a good team, but they obviously had no chance at that point. And, I don't think they really have that much in the playbook in terms of Wildcat. Like, it sounds great to say, just put McCaffrey out there and run the Wildcat, but they don't actually practice that. If they thought that was a possibility, then they would have had a third quarterback active for the game. They don't think two quarterbacks are going to get hurt. So there's a lot there. And I know, Dan, you remember when I played, 45 guys were active. 8 of us, were inactive. And then there was one guy that was the emergency quarterback that could only go in the game if the first 2 got hurt. And once he went in, the first 2 couldn't. They don't have that anymore. They bumped the rosters up to 48. So the Niners made a choice not to have a third quarterback out there. I don't blame them. That's what most teams do. I will say this. The last thing I'll say about this, as much as it stunk, because, the game was kind of over then, it sounds weird to say this in the context of a sport, but this is football. The Eagles earned those injuries. I mean, Reddick hit Purdy hard on the elbow when it was back like that. And by the way, Kyle Shanahan, why are you having tight ends block Hassan Reddick? Why are you doing that? And then, I think it was Sue. I can't remember who hit Josh Johnson. So the Eagles D-line, it was not like those were fluke injuries. The Eagles D-line caused those injuries.
Yeah, I was wondering about that as a former offensive lineman. When you got somebody like Reddick where you need help, do you say, look, I need help? Do you say that to your coach? Do you say that to your quarterback that I can't handle this guy one-on-one?
Well, so first of all, they had tight ends trying to block him, or they were trying to do this play action and boots and having tight ends and receivers block him, it didn't work, obviously. Usually, Dan, they kind of know that ahead of time in terms of whether or not you would struggle with a guy one-on-one pass pro. What they'll do is they'll actually give you some help early in the game to let you get settled in, whether they slide the center your way or they chip or, whatever, to get you comfortable and then maybe try you one-on-one sometimes. I don't think I ever said to a coach, or I don't think I ever heard a guy say to a coach, I need help. Usually the coach identifies that before the player is willing to say that.
There are certain guys that have deceptive speed. Reddick and Bosa, you don't realize how much quicker they are off the ball than everybody else. And Reddick that was alarming how quick he felt. I don't know if you see it the same way when you're on the sidelines, but it just felt like, wow, is he a half a step faster than everybody else?
Well, you know what's wild about him? This is his third straight year with double-digit sacks. He did it in Arizona in 2020, in Carolina 2021. You would be amazed that he's not even a finalist for Defensive Player of the Year. I am amazed how many people don't even know who Hassan Reddick is. But he's a Camden kid, which is right across the river from Philly. He's been waiting his whole life for yesterday. I was thrilled for him. Now at least everybody knows who Hassan Reddick is.
Yeah. Now there was a moment on the sidelines where I think Miles Sanders goes out of bounds and two Niners are over there and it looked like they were going to get into a little bit of a back and forth. And you backed up and then you started to walk almost in the middle of this, like you were going to engage with the 49ers. What the hell were you doing?
Oh, yeah, I have a whole strategy for this, Dan. So first of all, okay, some of the people on the sideline have no clue. If it ever looks like a running back or wide receiver or quarterback is running towards the sideline, when they get to the numbers, you need to get back. These people on the sideline, they're like, oh, la-di-da-di, oh, they're 10 yards away. Dude, you have no time. They are on you like this. Dan, I have no interest in getting hurt. No interest in a torn ACL. Because when they get near the numbers, I run backwards.
But you
10
backed
yards.
up, but then you started coming up.
Yeah, that's for the TV time.
Oh.
That's for my close-up.
Oh.
That's for the close-up.
Well,
I was going to wear my orange ski jacket so I get a lot of TV time.
Yeah.
But my wife said, what if that's very unprofessional looking. Everybody else wears something nice. You're going to have an orange ski jacket that just for TV. I was like, yeah, you're probably right. So, but no, I get back and I immediately get right back in to try to I was getting Charlie Weiss texted me that he saw me. I was getting texts from everybody. I got like 3 or 4 5-second clips yesterday, I think.
Yeah, well done. We're talking to Ross Tucker, CBS Westwood One color analyst. The referees in the Bengals Chiefs game had what kind of impact on the outcome?
Not nearly as much of one as people are saying today. They were not good. It was disappointing. The extra down on third down was horrific, but the Chiefs still punted. Dan, can you imagine if the Chiefs went down for a touchdown after that? That would be the only thing we'd be talking about today. Thankfully, for everybody involved.
But they changed field position, Ross. They
How
kept
many
the
yards?
drive
15 yards?
They kept the drive alive.
Yeah, I mean, look,
you run the clock, you got, there. You didn't score. You kept the ball, kept the clock moving, and you changed field position. So it did. There might have been, some kind of end result because of that. And the result shouldn't matter. They didn't blow the play dead, which I don't understand how they couldn't do that. Let the play go. Sorry, that play counts.
I agree. The one back judge or whoever they showed on the wide all 22 that he kind of ran in right for a snap. To me, they should have let that play go. I will say this to all the Bengals fans saying the NFL is rigged or whatever. Hey, Bengals fans, do you think the NFL wanted to be Bengals-Rams in the Super Bowl last year? And by the way, if it's rigged, didn't they rig it for you last year? That doesn't even make any sense. It's obviously not rigged. Here's the thing, though, Dan. That was bad. And I totally agree with what you just said. The Bengals had the ball twice, tie game, and they didn't get it done. I mean, they had the one pick that Burrow threw where the cook for the Chiefs made a good play. Then the next drive, Chris Jones sacks Joe Burrow. Twice, Bengals had the ball, tie game. They weren't able to get it done.
The Chiefs make it sound like they blew out the Bengals, with all of this post-game celebration and Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes, us against the. What the hell happened here? You guys barely squeaked by the Bengals at home. You got the league MVP even on one leg. You got a Hall of Fame tight end here. You got a guy who's going to be one of the 3 best defensive linemen in football this year. I mean, come on.
And Dan, they won the game on a game-clinching unnecessary roughness penalty.
Yes. Yes.
Was that the first game-clinching unnecessary roughness penalty in NFL history? I felt bad for that kid, by the way. They kept showing him, and you could see his chest was like heaving. I mean, he's 22 years old. I felt awful for him because people don't know what it's like. Imagine being 260 pounds. You're running as fast as you can. You got a helmet on. You only have your line of visions like this. You're running like this. It's not that easy to be able to know that Mahomes is out of bounds. That was unfortunate. But yeah, you know the way it is in pro sports, Dan. You're looking for any little motivation. They didn't like that they were calling it Burrowhead Stadium. And look, that game, I said this on the Ross Tucker podcast this morning, that was a huge game for Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes' legacy. There's a big difference between 3 Super Bowls in 4 years versus 0-4 against Burrow, Zach Taylor, and the Bengals. I mean, as great as they are, Dan, you know this. If you're 0-4, boy, that hurts your argument in terms of being, an all-time great pairing.
Great to talk to you as always.
Always, man. Can't wait to see you next week. It's going to be great.
Yep. And it's a jabroni, not a jambroni, as Fritzy says it, right? Have you ever been called a jabroni?
It's a jabroni. Yes, that's from The Rock.
Yeah.
Fritzy said jambroni.
Jam. Yeah, jambroni.
Pretty sure it's jambroni.
I'm like the #1 Fritzy supporter of anybody, but then he does things like that, and he just puts me in such a bad spot. It's like indefensible.
Thank you, Ross.
See you, man.
And we'll see you in Arizona. Ross joining us on behalf of DraftKings Sportsbook same-game parlays. Pocket more cash when you combine multiple bets from one game. Download the app, sign up, use the promo code Patrick, and you can see DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details.